From the WDWL TV multiplex, live from Grumpy's studio, with great anticipation, we bring you the pride of this station, the grumpy old man. Bird, I give you one job. One job. Now I gotta do a take two. You know how unprofessional that is? Take two. What happened to the... The grumpy old man, me, and the grumpy vulture. Take your bow. Now, back in your corner. You heard me. Well, I'm glad to see you, and don't feel that you have to stay for the whole show. I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm happy to see you here, but don't push it. If you don't think you can make it for the whole show, that's okay. I'm just happy to see you here. I was concerned, even though my wrench said, well, it's just a cold. I said, it's never just a cold. Especially, like with me. Holy shit. If I get a cold, God, I gotta lock myself in a room because my resistance is in the sewer to begin with. Of course, even after the goddamn virus, I was religiously wearing a mask. As a matter of fact, I've got several. Here's how stupid I am. I picked up two of those, what do they call them, gaiters? They come up and they go all the way down your neck. I think they call it a gaiter. I picked up two of those the other day. You think I wear it when I went to the store? No. In my truck, I probably have 5 masks. I don't know why I got out of the habit of wearing them around crowds. I guess I got that false sense of security. The major, what do you want to call it? What do I want to call it? The major health scare, was over with, and everything was relaxing. And even though it was relaxing, I still wore a mask religiously if I went in the store. And a couple of months ago, I stopped. And don't ask me why I stopped. Especially like the other day. I bought, matter of fact, one of the reasons I bought them, they were 4 for $1. And they're nice. They're not chintzy crap. I mean, I got one in blue and I got one in gray. Those were the only 2 colors I could find. I didn't want black. Yeah, I buy these gaiters, and do I fucking wear them? No. And with my resistance being in the sewer, I'm the last person that should get comfortable. I guess starting tomorrow. I mean, a part of it was almost everybody stopped, except seniors. I go in the store, and seniors and the cashiers. The cashiers would be wearing masks, and seniors. And I don't know why I let my guard down and went, yeah. But then I buy 2 gators. How do you like the change? I found this setting called neon. And I like the blocks. I think it's cool. Rather than just a bunch of, chat lines, your comment is in a neon box. I was screwing around. Same thing. I changed the time to a different font. I wanted something bigger, but they don't have anything bigger. But that's more blocky. But I like this. I like this because your chat is in its own box. What I had a dear friend. Matter of fact, she only lived like 4 houses up the street. When they bought the house and moved in, and this was like in 75 or 76, I'll tell you what, we had a wonderful neighborhood back then. All the neighbors went over, helped them move in, and we made a barbecue to welcome them to the neighborhood. Well, when Julie's husband turned into an asshole and left her for some pole dancing floozy, her and I got real close. As a matter of fact, on the way home from work, every night, she would pull in the driveway, blow the horn, and we'd sit in her car and talk and smoke. Now, she could have come in the house, and I could have gone in her house. We called that our private office. No matter what the weather was or anything. God, I can remember we had goddamn snow 2 feet deep, and she had seat heaters. So I would dash out of the house. She'd have the seat all warmed up for me. We'd smoke a couple of cigarettes and talk. Well, it's got to be, 2 years now? Or is it 3? I think it's going on 3 years. I talked to her 2 days before Thanksgiving. And I didn't talk to her during Thanksgiving. And then, like 3 days after Thanksgiving, her daughter called and said, Mom's in the hospital. I said, for what? She's having problems breathing. Well, Julie had COPD and was told to smoke, like 2 years prior. And Julie was the type like, fuck that doctor, So I says, is she allowed to have visitors? And her daughter said, well, no, not right now, but I'll let you know. I said, okay. Which would have been risky for me. But, Julie and I were friends from like 1975. And, like I say, after George turned into an asshole and left her high and dry, so I called and I asked, how Mom was doing. And she said, oh, not too well. She seems to be getting worse. I was like, oh, shit, that don't sound good. Well, then that afternoon, Melissa called me and said, Mom's got COVID. I was like, holy yachafuck. We'd been chatting in the car before Thanksgiving, and I'm not, inoculated because I have this fear of fucking needles, and that's the only way you can get inoculated is, they stick a needle this long in your arm, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you. So I'm like, oh, So I called my doctor, and I went in, and good thing, I tested negative. Well, the next day, Melissa's crying her eyes out. And I said, what the hell's... She said, Mom died. I was like, what? Yeah, that quick. Of course, having COPD didn't help. But I guess her breathing got to the point where even on a machine, her vitals were tanking. And Melissa finally said, pull the plug. Because the doctor said she ain't going to make a comeback. And I'll tell you what, I think of her every day. I miss her, my chat buddy, my smoking buddy. So, I religiously wore my mask, even when everybody was, it's safe now. And then about 3 months ago, I just dropped my guard and I quit wearing it. And I read constantly. There's a different variant of this goddamn virus every month, it seems like. Wow. You got a wonderful daughter there. Hey, look who's here. Peace Dynamic. You like the new neon boxes? We won't have Nomad tonight. I guess he's got an early morning, and I hadn't realized that right now it's midnight over there. Talk about somebody that is worse than me. God, I'm up all night. He really hangs in there. Yeah, he emailed me a little bit ago. He goes, I was like, hey, no problem. He's gonna watch in the morning. I told him, well, you're gonna miss the changes that I made. Fooling around. I think I'm gonna leave this. I like this. I think I'm gonna leave the neon boxes. Because the whole message, it's not like the other, the other chats. This way, when you stop typing, you get the whole message in the box. And it makes it easier for me to read. Just saying. I was killing time earlier, and I watched this police chase with the Florida Highway Patrol. I'll tell you what, next to Arkansas, those guys in Florida, you don't mess with the Florida Highway Patrol. Holy shit. This one trooper was running radar on the freeway, and this black car blows past him at 110 miles an hour. So he starts chasing it. Well, it ends up to be a 717 horsepower supercharged Hellcat. He was on his ass. And I mean, this guy tried everything to lose that trooper. Zigzagging in lanes, and making a dash like he's going to hit the exit in the last second back out on the freeway. And then they ended up going down residential streets until this idiot in the Hellcat decides he's going to try to go through a box truck and a big old family sedan. And, of course, he ended up big accident. And then the trooper, he gave him the old pit maneuver. Well, the guy bails out of the car and starts to run. And he's running and shedding clothing at the same time. Well, the trooper loses him. So they called in Officer Fur Missile. Well, Officer Fur Missile found this asshole hiding in a garbage can. Yeah, a big waste management. Officer Fur Missile tipped it over and took a nice chunk out of this guy's ass. So, they get back. He throws him in the back end of the cruiser, and the guy keeps going, I wasn't driving. I wasn't driving. I wasn't driving. Well, the trooper got up next to him. And this idiot had these tree limbs coming out of his head. I really don't. Do they think that looks cool? Yeah, tree limbs. Big hair extensions. The trooper goes, you were the only one in the car with the tree limbs. Because there were 4 people in the car and they all bailed. He's chasing the driver, Mr. Tree Limbs. Mr. Tree Limbs keep out. I wasn't driving. I wasn't driving. I wasn't driving. I'm like, what an asshole. Not to mention, those twisties are bad enough. And the dreads and the Bob Marley look, But tree limbs? The most ridiculous hairstyle I ever saw. If I'd have been the trooper, I'd have grabbed him by one on each side. Just shook the fuck out of him. You got handles. This bullshit of political correctness. Back in the day, every single jail and prison shaved heads. Everybody that come through the door got their head shaved. Not anymore. Oh, it's against their rights. Oh, yeah. First of all, how do they wash them things? And what might be living up in there? I wouldn't want anybody near me with that. I really think they need to go back to like in the army, you join the armed forces. What's the first thing they used to, what they used to do, get a grumpy haircut. Now I don't think they cut it so short. But even so, you can't go in with tree limbs sticking out of your head. Most ridiculous thing I ever saw. That's almost this last summer. I was at Dollar Tree, and there was this black woman arguing with the store manager. I don't know about what. Well, she had hair extensions that went down past her ass. That's how long they were. She went storming out of the store, flipping the manager off. I ain't never coming in here again. As she went out the door, her hair extension got caught in the door. Next thing you know, right flat on her ass. Oh my God. And I was in the parking lot. I had to turn around and laugh my ass off. And then she couldn't get up because the way her hair was stuck in the door, and nobody wanted to help her. Finally, in order to get her hair was all tangled in the door handle and that, they ended up coming out with scissors, cutting about 6 or 8 of them 4-foot long hair extensions. That's ridiculous. Don't get me started on some of this bullshit, these hairstyles. And then, the ones, they got fingernails that are like 4 or 5 inches long. I'm like, pardon me for being gross. How do you wipe your ass with fingernails that are 5 inches long? And then they can't pick anything up. It's almost as bad as these hoop earrings. They look like, they came off the top of a 55-gallon drum hanging off their ears. Oh, I get wound up. I got a neat gift today. From somebody that follows the show. I got a walking cane. But it's a vulture head walking cane. Isn't that cool? Yeah. I thought it was neat. I do use a cane at times. But this one, it's not only a cane. If somebody pisses me off, hey, I can have fun with this one. I never saw anything like this before. It is so cool. I'm going to have to watch. I'll tell you what, I lose more canes. I go into Goodwill, and if they've got 8 canes over in a bucket, I buy all 8. Well, if they're cheap. Because I have a bad habit. I'll put the cane by the counter, by the charge card machine, get my wallet out, run my credit card, grab my bags, and walk out of the store. And by the time, people are really assholes. I'll get to the truck and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot my cane. That fast. I'll go back in the store and it's gone. Now, like I say, I don't need it 100% of the time. But to steal somebody's, device that's going to keep them from falling over, this one I'm going to have to really watch. Because, if I leave this in a store, I guarantee I'll never see it again. So, I was like, oh, it's nice, I'm not going to use it. But then, I'm thinking about what this probably cost. And it would kind of be an insult to the person that gave it to me not to use it. Although what I'm thinking, I should put a noose on it. Something that attaches to the cane and goes around my wrist so I don't lose it. But yeah, I thought this was cool. Okay, gently set it down. There we go. Okay. It had to be. I guarantee that wasn't cheap. I'm thinking probably easily $50. I've never seen anything like that. I'm going to have to ask him where he got it from. Of course, then they go, oh yeah, you want to know what I spent for it? Well, no. I want to see if they've got other designs. Do they have all kind of animal heads, or I can guarantee they probably have a variety of different canes. So I would just like to find out where he got it, and if there's something that catches my eye, I'll buy one. If it's cheap. Oh, I blew the budget for the rest of the year. I used my emergency fund today. I broke down and bought a computer. This old thing it's too old. I needed something with a better processor, more memory, bigger hard drive, and I needed a fairly decent graphics card. So I broke down and I checked. I printed out the specs for Prism. And then I said, hey, here's the specs. I need a computer that's going to be over and above these specifications. And when the guy showed me the computer, I almost had heart failure. I was like, really? That much? He said, well, here's the specs. What do you expect? I said, oh, okay. When can I have it? Monday. okay? Because I need to order an HDMI KVM switch. A lot of letters. Basically what it is, two computers into a box using one monitor. So I could have two computers running and switch back and forth, because the new computer is just strictly going to be for the show. I'm not downloading any other programs in it. There's only going to be 2 items in it. And that's it. I'm going to have useless tube and faceplant. And then what I can do is add that's going to be YouTube and Prism. And then I can add faceplant when I go to do the stream. I'm not going to... I double-checked. I don't have to download faceplant in the new computer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack them next to the console and then have that KVM switch. And I can have computer 1, which would be this old one, to do my email and my surfing and everything. And then when it comes showtime, hit the button, computer 2. That way, I can utilize my gaming monitor. I got a 37-inch. Oh, it's a gorgeous monitor. Oh, curved. Get this. I have a gaming monitor. I bought a gaming computer. I have a gaming chair, and I don't game. Never have. All my friends are like, you got all this gaming shit, start gaming. No. But, what's the most comfortable desk chair? A gaming chair. I told Nomad today, I decided to test the chair out. I cranked it back 150 degrees, pulled out the nice padded footrest, laid back, and I was like, oh, let me see what it'd be like to take a little nappy. And I closed my eyes and fell asleep. About an hour and 20 minutes, I was like, holy shit. That's how comfortable this chair is, especially with the back massage. Oh, I love it. So if anybody's looking, go to Walmart online, because you'll get it cheaper. Because if you buy it in the store, you ain't going to get no deal. You go online, and depending on the color, if you get the green velvet, it's $109. If you get gray or blue, it's $119. And they have a really neat, like a cinnamon brown. I think that one's $129. I don't know why the prices are all over the place with the colors. And then they have a gorgeous cream beige. Oh my God, I love it. Can you see me with a cream beige gaming chair? cigarette ashes all over, spilling coffee on it. It would, I'll tell you what, go in and check it out. It's oh God, what is it? Soon. You gotta look by manufacturer. It's like Soon Tracks. Goopy Chinese name. And then after you, it'll come up and Soon Tracks has like 5 or 6 different gaming chairs. Look for the one that says Velvet. And then there's like 6 different colors. But the cream beige, oh, the chair is gorgeous. I'd be afraid to sit in it, let alone spend, 8 hours a day in it. The thing wouldn't be cream beige too much, it'd be coffee brown. So far, no cigarette ashes on the chair. I've been very careful. But, oh, yeah, it's, the most comfortable chair I've ever. And I'll tell you what, when I got out of high school, I started working for the county. And I'll tell you what, city, county, state, money's no object when it comes to certain items. And you talk about some nice fancy desk chairs. Oh, this is more comfortable than what I had. Although, in my 20s, like I really appreciate a chair. I appreciated a chair. Not the way I appreciate this chair at this age. But yeah, I think it's called Soon Tracks or something like that. It's Soon something. If you go in desk chairs, start typing in Soon in the search box, it'll come up, and then you can, if anything, just to look at all the different colored chairs, how nice they look. I'm also thinking of tearing the studio apart. I kind of scribbled an idea on my legal pad of a horseshoe and have monitors from one side to the other, like a TV station. Believe me, I got the computers and I got the monitors to do it. It would be just trying to figure out how to do it. I'd have to buy a desk. But yeah, I've been thinking of something in a horseshoe design and then have the camera like in the opening of the horseshoe and me be sitting in the back with multiple monitors with you name it. News stories going or just an idea. I have to do some measuring and try to figure out how I could make it work. Even if I only did an L shape, believe me, I got the computers and monitors and in all sizes. I was kicking it around. I watched Oh, what the hell's that news station down in Florida? WFLA in Florida. I like their studio layout, although they got monitors up the walls, of course they can afford it. But I was like, I got the computers, I got the monitors. If I could do something similar, I think it would look neat rather than this. Not saying I don't like this, although this isn't a news station. It's a whatever comes to my freaking head station. I was looking at Walmart and eBay. I found a couple of nice computer desks on eBay, very inexpensive, that have that carbon fiber look, and one of them actually had built-in LEDs. And it's one of them was an L shape, and then one was almost like a horseshoe, like for a corner. It went in the corner, and then it had a piece of desk here and a piece of desk there. That's where I got the idea from. Even if I just got that desk, I could put it in a corner and then have the camera over here aimed at the corner and run the monitors around the edge of the three sides. Walmart had some nice ones too. I mean, but this one, like I say, it's like, what was it, 40 inches, and then you had the corner piece, and then 40 inches over here. And it was like $79. And then it had a couple of risers to put the monitors on. I'm going to have to do some serious measuring tomorrow. But in order to do it the way I want to do it, I would end up probably being off the air for a week, because I'd have to move everything out of here and then, empty a room and start from scratch. Yeah, they had some L-shaped. And then I really like that one. It's like I say, it's 40 inches, and then you have the corner, and then 40 inches on this side. That would work. And it's like $79. So I'm going to do some measuring and some studying, and then again, I already blew the budget. Oh, God. I hate tapping into my emergency. Because it's so goddamn hard to put it back. Something always comes up, I'm like, I'll put $100 in this month, and then you need 50 of that 100, and it took me long enough to. Of course, it didn't help blowing up a washer either. Matter of fact, that's coming tomorrow. My new washer. They sent me all kinds of instructions, clear any stairways, get this out of the way, get that out of the way. I'm like, hey, you're the delivery guys. But I'm going to tell them, just take the old washer. See, my washers are on risers because back in the day, all the houses in this neighborhood, the basements would get water. So I think it's an 18-inch riser. Just tell them, take the old washer off and set it down over here. Just put the new washer on the riser and have a nice day. Don't hook nothing up. Just because they're looking for and I didn't pay for hookup. When it said delivery instructions, I said, just bring it in, move the old washer off the riser, put the new washer on the riser, and get the puck out. I know how to hook up a washer. 2 water hoses, a drain hose, and a plug. How hard is that? Then they want $60 to hook up your washer. Then they want another $60 to haul your old one away. I'm like, Jesus. I already have a scrap person coming for my old washer. Oh, you know what I'm talking about then. See? Now you'll know roughly what it'll look like, but it'll just have a lot of monitors on it. Because I got them from like 12 inches, and I can always bring in my LG TV, which is 35, so I could make that the focal point. And then I have, I think, 2 24s and a 30. I have a 30. Oh man, I could really do it up because I got a 30 curved, and then I bought this 43. So I could have my 35-inch flat screen, and then my curved, and then 2 24s. Yeah, I could have a real new studio here. The electric company would be like, yeah, Grumpy, plug in a few more computers. So that's the idea for the new studio. And then maybe put a green screen on the wall, and then I could put up whatever background I want, because I've got I fell for that. A green screen. I've got a program for different backgrounds, but you needed a green screen. So I ordered a green screen. It's a big hunk of green cloth. That's all it is. I was expecting, like a screen. Like back in the day when you were showing your 35 millimeter slides, you had that screen with like the phosphorus on it. I was thinking, oh, then it arrives. It's a big piece of green cloth, about the size of a bedspread. Green screen. I fell for that one, but I've got it. So there's a lot of ideas, although maybe what I'll do, I'll get everything like warehoused, and then when the good weather hits, It'll be a lot easier to work with the windows open, have a little fresh breeze blowing through, rather than sweating my ass off in here. But that's the idea for a new studio. Just kicking stuff around. But yeah, I was pissed off when that package came. Green screen. I opened it up and I was like, it's nothing but green cloth. And then it doesn't have, I thought at least it would have a top where you could slide a rod through it like a curtain. No, it's nothing but a big piece of green cloth. So I'm trying to, and we don't have any tailor shops anymore. I gotta find somebody. I'd like to have somebody do a fold over and make me a thing on the top of it where I could, because I have a green screen mounting rack. It's nothing more than 2 tripods with a pole across the top. But it's made for hanging a green screen. But this piece of cloth is nothing more than a piece of cloth. So if I could find somebody to make a curtain out of it, then I could hang it and it would look a little more professional than tacking it up on the wall. Green screen. I could have, well, we don't have any. We used to have fabric shops all over the place, back in the day when, they had home ec in high school and the girls made dresses, We had fabric shops all over the place. Not no more. We used to have, what the hell was the name? Joanne Fabrics. And there were like 5 of them within a 10-mile radius. Gone. All of them. I used to have a tailor shop right up the street from me. Couldn't get enough business. Closed up. I don't know anybody that owns a sewing machine. Back in the day, everybody had one. Because every girl in high school made her own dresses. It was part of the way you got your grade. You went, you bought a pattern, you cut it all out, you sewed it together, and you hope it looked like what was on the envelope. Not anymore. How do they, I remember, because my girlfriend used to tell me, home ec literally prepared a girl for married life or to be out on her own. Taught you how to cook, taught you how to sew, Then they wonder why these kids today, same thing. When I was in high school, I took every shop class. I took electronics, I took wood shop, metal shop, and auto shop. I took them all. They tore down my high school and they built a new one. Looks like a fucking office building now. No shop. No shop classes whatsoever. No band. No orchestra. No music. If you want to learn how to play an instrument, you go across town to the music high school. My high school now is the School of Engineering. Used to be a high school. Now it's a School of Engineering. And it looks like a fucking office building. My alma mater gone. That was a sad day watching them tear my goddamn high school down. But yeah, everything's a specialized. Oh, you want to learn how to play an instrument? Oh, well, you need to go to the music school. We don't. No shop classes. I don't even know if they have a high school with shop classes. I know they have music. But I mean, between high school and my grandfather teaching me, I'd be like these goddamn kids today. They don't know a screwdriver from a wrench, you know. I used to build my own electronic equipment. But back in the day, you did that. You know, part of your project in electronics was to build, I think we built a little radio or something. After that, I would buy kits. Matter of fact, I still have. I built an AC to DC converter. Takes 110 and converts it to 12 volt DC for testing car stuff, you know, anything that needs 12 volts. I built that by hand. I mean, you open a box and it was 10,000 pieces. You know, transistors, resistors, I built that back in 1975. I still have it to this day. I use it all the time. If I need to test something for the car, I bring it in the house. I built a TV set. We actually had, it was called Heathkit. You could go in and buy a kit. And I built a TV set. Unfortunately, it got knocked over. But yeah, I built a TV. I built a couple of radios. I built that AC to DC converter. But you know, like right now, if I have a problem with the truck, say an electrical short, I have the test equipment. I know how to trace it. I know how to fix it. Well, kids today take it to the shop, pay $80, $90, $100 an hour labor rate. I don't have that kind of money. Same thing, auto shop. After I graduated, I went to the college and they had a night mechanics course. And then the GM Training Center, which used to be here, at night they offered free courses on brakes. So if I needed a brake job on my car, you take your car in, and it was the project for the night. Everybody laughs at me. Oh, look at the old man farting around with his car. I do my own brake job. I do all my own repairs. I change my own oil. Before winter, I tuned up the shit box. I love doing that shit. Not to mention, I got tools up the ass. But kids today, I feel sorry for them. Same thing. My house, which is down the street, I had to sell it. We don't even want to talk about that. I wired the whole house. I had the old, now we're really going back, the old glass fuses, you twisted them in. I put a breaker box in the house. I called the electric company, and I went from, I think I had 60 amp to 100 amp service. I put a breaker box in. Every outlet in the house, of course I'm anal, every outlet in the house had its own breaker. I had a breaker box that had like 40 breakers in it. It looked like something you'd see in a building. Every single outlet had its own breaker. So if I needed to change a wall switch, I'd go downstairs. Okay, breaker number 32. Go up. Change what I needed to change. Yeah, I think I had, there were like 30 breakers in the breaker box, because every switch and every plug outlet had its own breaker. I enjoyed doing it. Oh, I loved wiring that house. But kids today, they don't learn that shit. It's sad. Yeah, perfect example. My buddy's son. He had one of the wall plugs broke. You know, they're chintzy, shitty plastic. He plugged and it broke. So he was going to call an electrician. And I happened to be having a cup of coffee with his dad, you know. And I said, "What? Put the brakes on. Let me run home, get my toolkit. I'll come over." "15 minutes I had it changed. I didn't even shut the power off. You learn how to work one-handed, you know. You work two-handed, you're liable to short something." He was like, "I don't know where the breaker box." I said, "We don't need the breaker box. We don't need to shut the power off." He goes, 15 minutes. Done. Here you go. I feel sorry for these kids today because they're going to pay through the ass to get shit done. Need a new ceiling, new ceiling fixture. Oh, call an electrician, $200 later. last summer I put a big ceiling fan here in the studio. My next door neighbor's grandson was like, "How'd you do that?" Easy. He'd be calling an electrician. Or call Grumpy. I'll charge you half the price. You passed wood and metal shop and bailed home ec? Jenny, you're my kind of girl. Any girl that passed metal shop and wood shop, my kind of person. It was surprising when I was taking the night course at the college how many young girls were in that class. And, you know, the instructor said, now, if you have a flat on the side of the road, you don't have to stand there and wave your handkerchief. I need help. No, you change your own tire. Or if the car don't start, you know how to diagnose it. Yeah, we had, how many of us were in the class? 20. And I think we had 8 girls. And the instructor, he was amazed. He was like, wow, I've never had this many females in class. But it was, the beginning of the course was basic auto mechanics. You know, how to change a tire. It's amazing how many people don't know, although today, you don't even get a spare with your car. Spend $60,000, you're lucky to get a jack. Or they get, my buddy's car's got an air canister, you know, like fix a flat. Well, if you got a hole in the fucking tire, that ain't gonna do you no good. These new cars, they don't have spare tires. Not even a donut. Weight saving, money saving. Making AAA rich. Another reason I won't own a new car. I'm still getting emails from California. I just get one a day now. Every time he finds a cheaper mini truck, he sends me a picture. He's trying. He's trying. I don't have the heart to tell him I can't afford it. I think the one he sent me today was $4,200. They're getting cheaper. They started out at $5,000. Now we're down to $4,200. I felt like emailing him back. If you get one for $3,000, I'll buy it. But then, cost me $1,000 to ship it from California to Ohio. So, all right, say $4,000. All right. Now we're up to $5,000 to get it here. And then I got to have an inspection done. I got to, transfer fees and everything, so we're almost at, well, it wouldn't be that expensive, but you got sales tax. It'd be about 5,600 bucks on a $4,000 truck. But oh, it'd be nice to have one. Yeah, what did he send me a picture of today? Vehicles we don't even have here. A Daihatsu. Yeah, this truck is a Daihatsu. Hi-Jet. Japanese have more stupid names. Yeah. It was a Daihatsu Hi-Jet. $4,600, I think. It only got like 30,000 miles on it. They don't, I'll tell you what, Japan, they don't, I have yet to see one of these mini trucks with 40,000 miles. And we're talking 97s, 96s, 95s. The Daihatsu's a 91 with 33,000 miles. A 91. But yeah, every day I'm going to have to rob a bank. You didn't hear that. My credit rating wasn't in the sewer. There'd be one sitting in the driveway right now. Believe me. I have wanted one of them for 3 years now. 3 years ago was the first time I saw one. I was like, whoa, matter of fact, I followed the guy about 5 miles. He finally pulled into a gas station. I said, hey, what is that? He goes, it's a Japanese mini truck. I said, well, that's obvious. Where'd you get it? Japan. There's an importer in California, and there's one in Georgia. But the guy in Georgia, he don't carry the older ones. Everything he's got is like 2000, 2001, 2000. I need something 25 years old or older. Because anything in Ohio that's over 25 years old is exempt from the emissions check. You walk in, you hand them the title, they hand you your license plates. Have a nice day. I don't have to get no inspection done. And the guy in Georgia, everything that he's got is newer. So he's always out. Oh, you too, huh? Yeah. I told you the story, right? My good buddy. Between him and the banker, I could kick that banker in the balls right now. Put a guilt trip on me. Oh, come on, he's your buddy. You've known him since high school. Yeah, and? You're not going to co-sign for him? Come on, he's your buddy. And then, of course, my buddy's sitting there with just about tears in his eyes, you know. He's like, give me the paper. And then for 2 years, everything was great. Then I get a call from the bank. Mr. Grumpy, when are you going to make a payment on the car? What car? That Chevy Impala. I don't have a Chevy Impala. I got 2 pieces of shit in the driveway. They're 25 years old. Every time I slam the door in the truck, a piece of the body falls off. The one you co-signed on. I said, what? Yeah, it's 4 payments behind, Mr. Grumpy. I'll call you back. Needless to say, after the phone call, I never heard from him again. He moved out of state, gone. They repoed the car, he took off. Whew, gone. My credit rating is down in the Mariana Trench. They have to send a submersible down to bring my credit up. That's how far down. And it figures. I got a bucket list. On the top of the bucket list is a Japanese mini truck. I'll die before I get my Japanese mini truck. And then I get an email every day. Hey, I found a cheaper one for you. Although, well, if it wasn't so goddamn small, I would take a Greyhound out to California and drive it back. But it'd be a little uncomfortable to sleep in. Because that's about a 6-day trip. And then it only goes 65 miles an hour. And that's pushing it. They tell you, keep it about 60. Goddamn freeway is, 70, 75, 80. I'd be getting goddamn ticket from the highway patrol for going too fucking slow. Because they're only 3 cylinders. A little itty bitty engine. Looks like a Tonka toy. And then I'd have to learn how to shift with my left hand. Because they're all right-hand drive, which I think is cool. Yeah. And they're 4-wheel drive. Which is really neat. But all I'm doing is teasing myself. Unfortunately. Kind of strange not having Nomad here tonight. I keep looking up going, where is he? The little wrench in the corner. Yeah. But I like this. I think he's going to like it too. With the chat, with the little boxes. And each one is a different color. It stayed with the color change, which I like. And then I made the time a little different. I think I'm done making adjustments now. I got the chat just the way I want it now. I got the time the way I want it. I'm going to leave the audio level thing alone. I'm not going to mess with that. I was going to change this. Because they have one that are just little circles. And then the numbers were too small. So I was like, I'll leave the bigger ones. But I'm not doing no more changes. I'm going to leave the chat just like that. I like it. I think Nomad will like it too. Maybe he snuck a look already. I told him I made some changes. I can guarantee he's not in bed. He's probably in the back, hiding, looking at the chat going, oh, I like that. No, if he was here, he'd pop in and say hi. Yeah, he told me, he says, can't do it tonight. Although I never realized that it was that late. I mean, he's got to be up almost 24 hours a day. I'll be sitting here in the morning, and it'll be like 9 o'clock here, and I'll shoot him an email, and about 10 minutes later I get an answer. I'm like, wow, he's up. Almost as bad as me. Last night, what the hell? I was watching something on YouTube. Hill Pirate Studios. I follow him, and I can't remember what the subject was. I reached over, I pulled my laptop up, and I was like, oh, come on, go to sleep. Oh, Neckbeard isn't here. Now, he's the Aussie, I think. I'm pretty sure he's the Australian. There's a real time difference there. But like I was saying last night, the wonders of the internet. Who would think? Now, I had a computer when they first came out, before internet. And there is no way. He's in England? I thought he was down under. I don't know why I thought that. But who would have thought? I never imagined that there would be a day that I would be on a computer chatting with people from around the world. When Neckbeard's here and Nomad's here, I would have never imagined I would be chatting with somebody in London or somebody in Australia. I've got a guy every now and then I hear from him, New Zealand. I'm like, it's amazing. And what does it cost? Mears. That's right. You got it. Mears is the Australian. Yeah. I knew I had an Australian in here. But like the other night when everybody was here, it's amazing. I'm sitting in Cleveland, Ohio, interacting with people over in England, people in Australia, like your next door neighbor. It blows my mind. I'm sitting here, thinking how far England is from here and how far Australia is from here. And we're just going on like we're neighbors, like I'm talking to somebody next door. Oh, really? Holy cow. So you're down. You're in the southern. Because I've been to Louisville. I toured the plant, Louisville Slugger. I like that baseball bat. Holy shit. I couldn't believe that thing. I was like, wow. That was an interesting tour to see how they make them goddamn baseball bats. I used to travel, well, I didn't travel that much. I had a friend that wanted to go down to, he was into baseball. I was, so I says, all right, I'll go. And I'm glad I did. Although, I used to go. I went 10 years straight to the Indianapolis 500. I would drive from Cleveland, and I went 10 years in a row. My seats were in the infield at the entrance to the pits, almost across from the start-finish line. And my tickets every year kept going up and up and up and up. And finally, when it got to be $100 a ticket, I was like, I'm done. And then I went from IndyCar to NASCAR. And I followed NASCAR. I was a big Gordon fan. And when he retired, I haven't watched a NASCAR race since. Of course, I got about $10,000 worth of Gordon memorabilia. Yeah, Grumpy went overboard on that collecting. And the sad thing is, I've tried selling it. I can't get what I paid for it. So it's just all boxed. My living room looks like a warehouse. All that memorabilia just there. One day maybe it'll... Well, I think it's outro time. See if the tablet's going to give me a hard time. Where's my stylus? Outro time. Holy shit. You mean to tell me it didn't pop up with the intro? Wow. Outro time. Oh, we know where. Right here. At 7 o'clock. I'm getting better at the 7 o'clock. Well, take care of that cold. Get some rest. Some NyQuil, Vicks Vapor Rub. The Vapor Rub will clear your sinuses, and the NyQuil will knock you out. And then you'll get a good night's sleep. And with that, we will meet again here tomorrow night. Have the wonderful rest of your evening.